All right, the question today is, how does an artist create balance in their artwork? How does an artist create balance in their artwork? We're going to be talking about 3 different kinds of balance. One being symmetrical. And asymmetrical. And finally, radial balance. You'll divide your notes into 3 sections for each of these. And when we're talking about symmetrical balance, we're talking about 2 sides being the same. But I'm going to go a step further and say they are the same-ish. Almost the same. So if we take a human body and separate it directly down the center, most of us have an eye on both sides. Most of us have a hand on, or an arm on both sides and a leg on both sides. And if you put your hands together, you can try this. Put your hands together just like this. You're going to notice that one of your hands is bigger than the other. Most likely it's going to be your dominant hand, the one that you write with. I know, mind-blowing. And here we go, thinking that our body is symmetrical, that it's the same on both sides. And yes, it is symmetrical because we're going to say that the definition is same-ish, almost the same. So it is the same-ish on both sides. Now, no, I believe if you asked an English teacher, they might not say same-ish is a word, but lucky we're in art. We can be creative. Boo-hoo. Okay, I'm drawing a butterfly here to kind of give an example of symmetrical. Butterfly would be symmetrical because if there's a wing over here or a design over on this side, there's going to be one here, and I'm just going to divide this directly down the center like this. This makes for a symmetrical picture. Now when we take the next step, asymmetrical, when we're talking about that, we're talking about visual balance. So let's talk kind of personal on my level. If we have a big old giant Mr. Han over on this side, I mean, that guy is huge. Okay? And we want to balance him out. It might take one Mrs. Han, one Sawyer, that's my son, and one Matisse. She's got pigtails. In order to balance Mr. Han out. So basically what we're saying is if we have one large object over on one side, we can balance it out, visually balance it out by putting 3 small things on the other side. Sometimes you'll see artists draw something like this where they have a big tree in the foreground. And it's so close to us that the size is really large. And then they end up having 3 little trees over on the side. Now, the reason that the artist does this is to make it feel balanced. Asymmetrical is still balanced, but it is balanced without being the same on both sides. Balance, but not the same on both sides. It's not the same. Radial balance. Have you ever heard that word radial in any of your other classes? What class? Come on. What do you think? Math class. Yep, most of the time you're going to hear that in math. You might hear it in science as well. Radial means circular. And what this is if we take a shape, and a really good example is a flower. It is balance that starts from the center and works its way out. And no matter which way I divide this, if I divide this vertically or horizontally or diagonally, it's going to have symmetry. So it's balanced from the center. And no matter what way you divide it, it's going to be symmetrical. So can be divided many ways, and it still equals balance.